Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll just give it another second. Actually, I think we're about where we need to be. So why don't we begin? Sorry for the delay in starting this. Our female athletes session ran a little bit longer, but we're here and we're looking forward to talking with you tonight. Michelle Blandino, I'm the Director of Admissions here at Immaculata High School, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight for our male athletes roundtable. If you've been to our open home before, you kind of know how the format went. We would have our activities and athletics expo, and you'd have a chance to, meet the coaches and the players and talk with them about the sports you're interested in. But unfortunately, in the time that we're in right now, that's not possible. So we thought we would more or less bring the coaches to you and the players to you in the form of this roundtable tonight. So what we're going to do in a second, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Gambino, our athletic director, who will then in turn introduce his coaches, who will speak to you about their teams. One of their players will talk to you about their experience on the team, and then we'll have questions and answers at the end. Please use the Q&A box for your questions. You can put them in at any time, and we'll get to those at the end of tonight's presentation. So before I turn it over to Mr. Gambino, I would like to begin, as we do most things at Immaculata, with a prayer. So in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. O God, the Eternal One, through your hospitable love, you are always open to us. You are open to our hopes, concerns, questions, struggles, needs, and our prayers. You are the one who faithfully opens the way. You opened the way in the wilderness to your wandering children when there seemed to be no way. Open our hands that we may receive and give generously. Open our imaginations that we may grasp your vision for creation. Open our mouths that we may speak truth and promise. Open us to hope, peace, and eternal joy. Open us, O God, and make us new. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. And now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Gambino.
Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to our open home athletic roundtable. It's a little different than having the marching band and the cheerleaders all marching in the gym, but it's the world we're living in right now, and we hope that we can get you a good feel of what we're doing, the great things that we're doing athletically at Immaculata. I think we have an outstanding coaching staff that you're going to get to meet here firsthand, and we have what I call rock star athletes that you're going to get a chance to meet as well. My assistant, Peg Napolitano, who basically runs the athletic office, she will be taking question and answer any questions you have all the way through. Just give them as soon as you have it, like right now, you got a question you're thinking of, put it in the question and answer, and we'll get to it at the end, and we'll go through and answer everybody's questions, okay? Let's see, we're going to start out with our football coach, Mike Colombo, and he's got our quarterback with him that's going to talk about the program as well. Okay, Coach Colombo, you're up. You're on mute, Coach.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for coming out and spending some time with us this evening to learn a little bit about our programs for all our sports. In my case, especially our football program. And we've been through such a tumultuous year this year with the COVID and the summertime and just coming off now a break in our season where we had to sit down for 2 weeks, and we just got back out on the field today and we're able to get ready for our next game, which is Saturday at home against Mendham. And speaking of a home game, we're at our brand new facility. For us, we'll be playing our games at Torpy Complex over in downtown Somerville, Bridgewater area, and we're very excited about that. It's our first home game, and our kids are very young football team. And we're building it. We're building it from underneath, and we're doing things the right way. And the thing that I talk about all the time that I'm most proud of about our kids is that, last year we did a study of our kids' GPA and conduct grade. And, it was very nice to see that our team GPA was a 3.25. With 60 plus football players, and our team conduct grade was a 94. And we're bringing the right kids into this program that are doing things the right way. We're going to do things clean. We're going to do things honest. We're going to do things hard, and we're going to coach our kids very, very hard in the process. But the biggest thing about us right now is rounding our kids into being fine young men, and I think that's the most important thing. And right now for us and the program that we're building, I think that's our biggest goal right now, and to get this thing going in the right direction. Please, if there's any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me, type them in the box to Peg, and I'll answer anything that we need to answer once we get done with our session tonight. But again, thank you very much for coming out. It's my pleasure to speak to you, and go Spartans.
Andrew, turn your mute off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm Andrew Curry, and I'm a senior captain on the football team. I play quarterback on offense and safety on defense, and I've been playing since I was a freshman. So my freshman year, unfortunately, Coach Colombo wasn't here yet, and we had a different head coach. Then my sophomore year, he came, and that was really when I started to see the program turn around. The record hasn't been where we wanted it in the last couple of years, but now that he's been here for 3 years, I think everyone's really starting to understand what he's trying to do as a coach. And it's not so much he's just trying to make our team good, like a record-wise. He's trying to make us good young men, like he said, and that's really where the wins come from. You can't really win if you have guys who don't want to be there and who don't work hard. And Coach Colombo's instilling in us the hard work factor, which wasn't really here before, especially my freshman year, I can say that. But now we got a bunch of young guys. I think we only have 6 seniors. So the next 2 classes, the juniors and sophomores, they're much bigger. And now that they're learning the Colombo way to do things, I think they're going to be in really good shape. So obviously, if you have sons and daughters who are freshmen coming in, all the sports, including football, most importantly, is going to be on the rise due to Coach Colombo.
All right, Andrew, thanks a lot, buddy. A great job. Thank you. Next up is our boys basketball coach, Ryan McKeever, with one of his players will be Devin Pumbo. Ryan, head coach.
Thanks, Mr. Gambino. Welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan McKeever. I'm the head boys basketball coach here at Immaculata. I appreciate everybody here taking the time to jump on this call to find out a little bit more information on our awesome athletic sports program that we have at Immaculata, and obviously the boys basketball. Just a real quick echo what Mr. Gambino said as far as the coaches that we have here for all the sports. I've been here over 16 years, and I attend all the games for all the sporting events, and from top to bottom, this is a top notch. The best of the best as far as the coaches that your sons really get a chance to be a part of. So, and I'm honored to be here as well. I'm a 1999 graduate of the school, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Again, coaching here 16 years. I'm going into my 9th year as the head varsity coach. We're coming off of 2 back-to-back 20-win seasons. So the program, where it's at and where it's headed is in a great position. I couldn't be more proud of the teams that we've had, the players that we have and have currently, especially dealing with everything that they've been faced with. Can't say enough about how they've handled that. And, as far as the program, we've had many kids that have gone on to play at the college level. Coming off of last year's team, we've had 2 kids that went on to play at the college level. One had a scholarship to Dominican, and the other one is playing at Ramapo College. We've had other players graduating 8 seniors. We've had other players who have gone on to play football that were 2-sport athletes at Muhlenberg, Franklin and Marshall, to name a few. We've had kids go on to Seton Hall. So it's when they come in the door, it's getting the most of what Immaculata has to offer, and then obviously going on to succeed at the next level. and Coach Colombo is another one and other coaches on here, as far as the biggest thing we always say to eighth graders, incoming freshmen, take advantage of everything that the school has to offer. If you want to play multiple sports, go play it. Take advantage of everything. And 4 years go so fast. So we really encourage you guys to, to play sports that you want to play. And then again, obviously the academics side of it is such a huge standpoint. We really preach the academics of getting it done in the classroom. And there's nobody better than, I'm honored to have one of my players that's going to speak right after me, and Devin Pombo, who is he's currently a junior, and he's in the National Honor Society. So he's getting it done in the classroom, and he's getting it done on the basketball court, and we're expecting big things from him. He's going to speak in a second, but under normal circumstances, I would love to, obviously invite all the parents and players, to one of our games, and we weren't dealing with what we're dealing with, but to take advantage and see what's going on with the basketball program. But all of our games will be streamed, and I know the athletic office will be sending that out as far as a link to where you can log on and watch the games. I know all the fall sports, especially football, is streamed right now as well. So, with that said, I look forward to meeting you one day in person and having the opportunity to potentially coach your son. And, with that said, I'd like to turn it over to one of my players, Devin Pombo.
Thank you, Coach. So as Coach mentioned, my name is Devin Pombo, and I am currently a junior on the boys varsity basketball team. I attended Immaculate Conception School, kindergarten through 8th grade, right down the street, and coming to Immaculata was an easy decision for me. I'm very involved in the school, not only athletically with Coach McKeever, but in many other ways as well. Academically, I have a full honors AP course load. I'm a member of the Student Council and a member of the Student National Honor Society. I've also been involved in various other activities such as folk group, campus ministry, and I'm going to be a retreat leader for the Revelations retreat this coming December. Being a member of the Immaculata boys basketball team has helped me to strengthen my character, become a more well-rounded student, and has taught me invaluable lessons of teamwork, perseverance, hard work, and camaraderie. It's been such a rewarding experience. Regardless of the sport or group you look to join at Immaculata, they're all great opportunities to more fully experience the Spartan family by meeting someone who you may not be in the same classes with or grade as you, forming friendships, making memories, and having fun. Personally, I feel I formed great friendships with many of my teammates, and we have and still are making great memories along the way while having fun. So my greatest advice for incoming students into Immaculata would be the more you get involved at the schools, the more you'll get out of it. So thank you.
All right, Devin, thank you. Great job. Coach McKeever as well. Okay, next up, what am I looking at here? I'm sorry. I got boys lacrosse. I got our new head coach, Dave Hobson, who I'm sure most of you are excited to meet for the first time. And then we got Joe Barber stepping in here. We're going to talk about the program a little bit. Okay, Coach Hobson, go ahead. You're on.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gambino. And how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you very much for coming out and learning a little bit about Immaculata here. As I'm learning as well, because I'm one of the newest coaches to be a part of the Spartan family. But man, am I excited to be here. Give you a quick background on me. Played at Kean University. I was recently coaching at Summit High School, another renowned high school program in New Jersey. I'm also the manager for 3D Lacrosse, which is one of the largest travel companies in the country. And I'm extremely honored to have the opportunity to be here at Immaculata and this historic program. And just knowing that this culture that we're going to put together and really make something special this upcoming season and moving forward. I'm really looking forward for the opportunity to work with these young players. We are a young team. I think all the sports here are fairly young, and we're building something special. This is an incredible staff for each sport. Every person I meet, just so friendly and really welcoming. And I can see that the kids are fully bought into improving each sport. And I think that lacrosse is really going to start to take off. We're going to do some great things. We got a great group of young kids that are humble and they're ready to work. And they just really understand the culture and buying into each other and what we're going to do to build this up. And I'm very excited to see what we can do. and I think there's a very bright future for us. I'd love to talk more if you have any questions for me, but I'm really just excited to get going here, and I'm excited to see what we can do for these next couple of years.
Great job, Coach. Okay, Barbara, you're up.
All right, so my name is Joe. I'm currently a senior, and I've been playing Immaculata lacrosse all 4 years of high school. And I've had a varsity leg all 4 of those years, besides this year because we haven't played yet. But I currently play defense, but I used to play goalie. So if anyone's new to the game, unsure of the position they play, or think there's a better position for them, I'm an example that can usually be worked out. I can't say that I have any complaints about the experience. All the players are tight-knit. If not at the beginning of the season, then most definitely we all have a good relationship among ourselves towards the end. I was actually the only freshman on the team when I first joined, and I've been the only person in my class all these years. But I think there's 1 or 2 seniors joining the team this year. But even as the only freshman, I never felt alone or left out by any of the upperclassmen. I was always included, and I felt welcome. Even outside of school and practice, the team always finds ways to be together, whether it be dinner or just a team hangout. I believe that myself, as well as the underclassmen, will be able to give the same experience to incoming students as we all had when we first joined the team. And that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, great job. Thank you. Next up, I want to make sure, am I getting you here? Okay. Next up, we're going to golf with Paul Menor. Paul, looks like you're on your own, bud.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Tom.
Listen, I'll talk about you. You've done a great job for me for a couple of years, and we've had a very successful golf team, and we're looking forward to keeping that going. So go ahead, Coach.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you to everyone for coming out to the virtual open house tonight. Immaculata Golf has got a tradition of excellence, both in the recent past as well as in the history of the program. Last season, our season was canceled due to the COVID virus. The season prior, though, we finished second in our division and qualified for the state championship. And we were also the 2-time champion of the Highbridge Hill Invitational Team Championship. So, our recent pass has been very successful. We also have a tremendous legacy of alums who've played through this program and played at Division I colleges such as Penn State, Maryland, and Loyola of Maryland. And we've had golf alums who participated in the USGA National Championships, and something probably not very many other schools in the state can boast about, but we actually have one of our alums is a member and played on the PGA Tour. So, golf has been a very rich tradition at Immaculata. Now, I'm the first person to speak from a team that competes off-site. Our team is open both to boys and girls, and our home course where we will play is Green Knoll, which is just a 5-minute drive from campus. And we will play or practice 4 times a week. The course doesn't give us access on the weekends, so you've got the weekends free if you're on the team, but we will go from early March to mid-May. And so what I would tell you is the COVID-19 really put a crimp in our program, right? Because we were not able to bring on, we had a number of young men last year who signed up to play. The season got canceled. We had 2 returning players who were seniors. They're now gone. So we start with a clean slate going into the season. So if your son or your daughter has a golfing proficiency of any form, you can have an immediate impact on our program. And the other thing I would also say is kind of to Coach McKeever's point, golf is a great opportunity for crossover for athletes from other sports who aren't playing a sport in the spring. So our last team that we had players from the football team, from the basketball team, and the soccer team. So we really encourage players who don't have an activity in the spring to come on out and try out for the golf team. So back to Coach Gambino, and thank you. And if there's any questions, please feel free to tee them up in the Q&A.
Okay, Coach Menor, thank you very much. Next up is our cross country, winter and spring track coach, who is a graduate of Immaculata, Chris Heibel. Go, Chris.
Thanks, Mr. Gambino. So this is my 7th year coaching here at Immaculata. And personally, I've been running since about 2001. Like you said, I ran 4 years of high school at Immaculata, and then I ran in college at Loyola, Maryland, and the University of Kentucky. And then I competed post-collegiately for a little while. And I still run a little bit now just to keep up with the guys, hope they don't drop me on runs. So when I first started, we had a pretty small team. Cross country was small, track was kind of small. But I'd say about 4 or 5 years ago, we really started to get some freshmen who turned the program around, and they really bought into what we were doing and wanted to, we wanted to get ourselves on the map. So kind of coincided with that is we started a winter track team 5 years ago. And kind of ever since then, things have been on the rise. And we've been knocking at the door of doing some really cool things. We had a lot of 3rd place finishes at the non-public B state meet leading up to last year. And that was in track. And actually, not just running wise, but we also had a lot of good field events. We had a kid win the state championship in the javelin. We had some high jump. We had some throwing. So a lot of good things happening. And then last year, we kind of broke through a little bit. First in cross country, our cross country team was 2nd at the non-public B state meet. And we had the individual state champion for that. And he was also the Skyland conference champion. And then we really broke through indoor, and we actually won the non-public B state championship indoor as a indoor track team. So for us to be able to do that, and we had a lot of seniors last year who contributed to that. So that was really cool for them to have them. And that was right before everything got shut down. So for have them be that's their legacy now, that they were able to contribute to that was really a great way for them to go out. And they kind of passed on everything that, their hard work ethic, everything that they did. All the younger kids now saw that, and it's their job to continue that. And it's a really great group of kids that we have. They really want to get better. They've really embraced the sport, and they study it. They ask me questions. They're watching pro races. They're doing everything. So it's really cool to see how invested they've become and how much they buy in. The other thing about last year is, so we had a really good top duo. One of the kids, he graduated last year, TJ, and now he runs for Hofstra. He got a scholarship to run there. And the other boy who I'm about to introduce in a second, James Patak, indoor, he won 3 events at the state meet. He won the 800, the mile, and the 2 mile, all in a course of about an hour and a half. So he's our captain this year. So I'd like to introduce James Patak, who actually transferred here last year from Watchung Hills.
Hey, Iron Man, James Patak, turn on. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Hi, my name is James Patak. I'm a senior. And this is my 4th year running for high school. But as Heibel said, I've only been here for 2 years because I transferred. And immediately after I came here, I started really seeing a lot of improvements. And I've kind of bought into what Heibel has been trying to do with the team. Like he said, last year with the indoor track meet, we really had a breakthrough season. And I think as a team, we really have started to get better. I've really had a lot of fun working with some of the freshmen this year. They've been super enthusiastic about running. And most of the team has. And we're really trying to just work as hard as we can, try to get a lot of personal bests. This year is very confusing, but I think definitely I'm seeing improvements in not just myself, but most of the team as a whole. Yeah.
All right, James. Listen, I just want to point out the fact that Coach Heibel mentioned that the 3 events that you ran, having been a former track man myself back in the early days, that is just amazing. The three events that you ran literally in like an hour and a half. So again, looking forward to this spring, looking forward to the rest of the fall. He's going to be competing for the Skyland Cross Country Championships on November 1st. That's correct, or November 2nd?
Yep, on Monday.
Okay. CPEG, I think I got that right. Okay. All right. Next up is baseball. Kevin Cuss is our head coach. Kevin was a player of mine back in class of 2000. Listen, I'm going to go away from Kevin a little bit because, first of all, Kevin's a new dad as well. So him and his wife just had a baby, and congratulations, Dad, on that as well. But I got to just say one thing about this kid, Alex Duffy, that's going to talk today. He's a commit to Elon. He came here. Listen, he didn't just come here to play baseball, because you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed just to transfer because of a sport. But obviously, we're real excited to have him. And we lost the whole spring last year, but we're really looking forward to getting a chance to see him play this spring. Okay, Coach Cuss, and then we're going to hear Alex Duffy. Go ahead, Coach.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kevin Cuss. This is my 7th season as head coach. Would have been 8th, obviously, with the unfortunate circumstances from last year. But yeah, as Tom said, I'm a 2000 graduate of Immaculata High School. So coming back and coaching for me has been a blessing, because it means so much to me to give back and be a part of the tradition of the baseball program that's just produced so many outstanding young men throughout the years. And I've learned a lot from Coach Gambino and dealing with people and all that stuff. So thanks a lot, Tom, for everything you've given me. My philosophy is simple. I try to develop young men through the life lessons of baseball. Baseball is very difficult. It's a hard sport with a lot of adversity, and I think it parallels life in a lot of ways. And I just think there's no better way to challenge yourself than through the lessons that you learn on the baseball field. How do we do that? We start with a top-notch coaching staff that I have with me, with the best facilities the state has to offer. We play at Diamond Nation in Flemington. It's an unbelievable facility. We have a brand new field that was just built there, Field 7, Muscleicious Foods Park. It's awesome. It's a state-of-the-art facility. It's going to be the best field in the state, and we plan on playing all of our home games right there in that location. So if you can come out in the spring, get a copy of the schedule online, come out and watch some games. We also have what I believe are the best uniforms in the state, and I got that from Coach Gams too. You got to look good. You got to look good to play good. So, they're all things that play into it. So, and I know the kids love the uniforms. Over the years, we've had 2 Major League Baseball players, and Jason Ryan and my brother, Jack Cust, and numerous professional draft picks, D1, D2, D3 college baseball players being placed yearly. So I think that's enough for me. I'm going to hand it over to Alex Duffy.
Thank you, Coach. As Coach said, I'm Alex Duffy. I'm going to Elon University to play baseball. I transferred here last year to play, and I was disappointed to not have a season because of Corona. But I've been playing for Coach Cuss for a while now, and just like he said, our coaching staff starts with Coach Hewitt, who has 17 rings as a high school coach, and Kevin, as our head coach, has really taken me under his wing and does that with all his players, and really helps us learn the sport, especially because of his experience of professional baseball. And he's able to help us with our skills on and off the field. Like he said, the uniforms doesn't get better than that. They're amazing. They're awesome. The new Carolina Blue is going to look nice on the field. Also, Diamond Nation, like he said, is one of the best places for recruiting. And just come watch the game. I mean, turf field doesn't get better than that. And as a team, I'd really like to say that, like, from freshmen to seniors, I saw it last year in the winter training especially, but everyone is close. Everyone's looking for each other. They're pushing each other. They're trying to help each other. But we always got each other's backs no matter what. And I really owe a lot to Coach Cuss and the baseball program. But it doesn't get better than this, and this is the best place to be. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Gambino, as well.
All right, guys. Thank you. All right. Next up, I believe, is my longest tenured head coach. And he's fantastic. I think he's doing a great job with, we're actually on a rebuild last year. This year, we kind of been sideswiped a little bit. We had a couple of early injuries, but hopefully we can get it going. And then also with him is an outstanding young man and great player himself. This is Matthew Martin. Coach Bryce, go ahead. Turn your mute off, Coach.
Thanks, Tom. So obviously, my name's Dominic Rice. I am the boys varsity head coach at Immaculata. And as you guys can tell from the accent, I didn't grow up in the United States. And the one thing I will say, and I won't reiterate everything that every other coach has said on the call, but Immaculata is really a home for me. It wasn't my high school, obviously, but I consider it my high school. I've been here 11 years. Like I say, I want to be here for as long as I can coach at the high school. I don't see me coaching at any other high school. And like I say, it's really like a family environment. But to go on and give you a little bit of background about myself, I have over 4 years professional playing experience in England for Sunderland and Lincoln City, and a furthermore 4-year experience playing in the semi-pro level over the northeast of England. I have 20 years coaching experience in the youth sports, youth soccer. I'm currently the operations manager and teams director for Steel Soccer, who is one of the largest soccer organizations in the country. As a team, in 2017, 2018, we were the state sectional finalist in the South Jersey non-public B section. And then the following season in 2018, 2019, we were the Skyland Conference Mountain Division champions with a 10-2 record. Like Tom said, we are in a little bit of a rebuild. The one thing I will say is the current team is mainly made up of sophomores and juniors. And we actually have a freshman who starts in the team as well. The one thing I will say is I'm very excited for the 2021-22 season. As we do return the majority, we only graduate 2 seniors, and I'm excited to have any new freshman prospects coming into the program. And, it's a great place to be. It's a good environment. We have a fantastic facility that we practice out of daily at Torby, and that's where we play our own games. That's enough from me. Back to Tom or over to Martin. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here.
All right, Martin, you're up. Turn your mute off, bud. Thank you.
My name is Matthew Martin. I'm a junior and a captain on the soccer team. I'm currently involved in campus ministry as much as I can, and I'm a Rev team leader. But besides on a soccer standpoint, last year I was named first team in our division, and I was named MVP of our team. As I said, I'm a captain this year. And my freshman year, I was kind of thrown in to a position I'd never played before, which really kind of strengthened me as a player, not only a player and as a man, to try to learn how to fight for things and to grow. And pretty much our team we're really a tight-knit group, and the friendships and like memories I made with this team, I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Okay, Martin, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to just mention right now, because we don't have a coach yet, but we do have a boys volleyball program. It'll be the first year that we have boys volleyball. It was an intramural sport, and we did it as kind of just like a club team last year. And this is the first year we're going to put together a team and compete at the varsity level, okay? Boys volleyball right now is a spring sport. I don't know if it's going to be spring 3 or spring 4. Everything is kind of up in the air, as you all know, with the COVID. But listen, great job by all of my speakers and these student athletes. Again, I want to thank all of you. At this time, we're going to jump into the question and answers. Ms. Napolitano will start out and shoot the questions to the coaches, and we'll get some answers out to you.
Sure. Thank you, Gambino. We have a few questions. The first is for Coach McKeever. We have a question about the tryout process, specifically as an incoming freshman boy.
So how the tryout sessions work is it's usually 3 days before Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving falls on a Thursday. We will have tryouts on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You get 3 days of tryouts, again, the 3 days before Thanksgiving. And when you're in school next year, there will be a sign-up process, usually during lunch. And we also will have a meeting. I don't know how we will be doing it, but there'll be a meeting where it's a sign-up sheet and we get all your names and we get you out the info for physicals and everything like that. So you're good to go as far as tryouts. We have 3 teams in our program, obviously a varsity team, a JV team, and a freshman team. And on day 1, all the incoming freshmen will try out for the freshman team together. And again, you get 3 days after the 3rd day. We will let you know as far as making the team.
Thank you, Coach. This question is actually for boys basketball and boys lacrosse. The question is, how competitive is the tryout process to earn a spot on the team? Coach McKeever, you want to go first?
Very competitive. It's we're competing against the top teams throughout the area. A lot of teams in our conference and on our schedule are in the top in the state. So it's very competitive, and that's where so much of the work that we do is put in over the summer. Where when you come into tryouts, everything will speak for itself. But it is very competitive. We're doing a ton of drills, evaluating on all your skills and what you bring to the team, and it's not just who's scoring the most. It's doing all the little things as well, and we put the best possible guys on the court that are going to give us the best chance to win the games.
Thank you. Coach Hobson, the same question.
Yeah, I think Coach McKeever really said it best. I mean, the tryout's going to be tough, and we'll evaluate every player from top to bottom and look at your entire skill set and what you're going to bring to the team, what you can offer. And that goes for on and off the field. We're looking for a well-rounded person on and off the field and a hard-working person, and we're going to put together the best team that we can put together. And like he said, the best player has to play because we're going to be playing the top-notch level teams in the state of New Jersey, and we're going to give every single one of them a run for their money because we're coming out there and we're going to do the best that we can to win a state title every single year.
Thank you, guys. The next question could be for Coach Dominic Rice. Questions about during the summer, are there any tryouts or more workouts and conditioning?
Hey, so typically for preparation for the soccer season, obviously this year is a little different. We will, over the spring months, we hold 1 practice a week for the players. I think it's following the guidelines. It's following the last spring state game. We hold 1 practice a week, which will lead into August. We will hold a week-long camp before we head into our pre-season. So those are the workouts that we do. Like I say, typically it's over 1 or 2 months, 1 practice a week, a 1-week camp, early August, and then we'll start with pre-season mid-August.
Thank you. Coach Colombo, I have a couple questions for you. Same question to you about summer workouts and conditioning.
Extremely, it's something that is just part of what we do. Okay, it's extremely involved. We will lift, we will condition, we will do football-related activities, and it's something that goes from June right up until we start our preseason camp, and it usually goes 3 days a week. We're hampered by that this year with the COVID, but in a normal year, which we anticipate having back, the summer is a very, very important time for us. We go in the morning as to not to try to interfere with some other guys that may be playing baseball or basketball or something like that in the evening, so it works out pretty well for us.
Thank you. And also, Coach Colombo, we have a question about whether we have a freshman football team.
We've had a freshman football team for the last 2 years now, so we're in good shape there.
Thank you. Also, what kind of offense do we run?
What kind of offense do we run? We run the ball. We run the single wing offense, which is back from the 1950s, and that's what we're going to continue to do. That's what I believe in. Our kids love it, and that's exactly what we are.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Kevin Cust. Question is about baseball. What is the tryout process? And the other question is, how do we transport the athletes to the field?
The tryout process is we start on the first Friday of March. We'll usually do Friday, Saturday tryouts. Sunday we're off. We're off every Sunday. And it's basically just an evaluation process of first day is just getting into skills, seeing guys in positions, looking for arm strength, looking for a skill set that's going to allow somebody to contribute to the team. We start from the top down, so obviously somebody can contribute at the varsity level. So the process is pretty simple. I mean, it's just looking for skills early on and then applying that to a game situation. Baseball's a little more difficult. I think it takes a little longer to identify some of the kids. So in terms of setting the teams and all that stuff, that can take a week or so. I like to get it right before we go, and we're always constantly moving kids. So if a kid's contributing, can come out and help out, then we'll make a change. How is the team transported for practices and games?
Hey, Kev, let me jump in on that because we're doing something new that we started this fall. We're running a shuttle bus out of right from Immaculata right now at 2:50. We pick up the soccer teams and the tennis team, and we make a run through Green Hall, and we go down to Torpy. We're fortunate enough that there's just enough kids that, we can do it all on one bus. So we'll work on that towards the spring as well, because the softball going out there as much. And because of COVID, we're trying to stay away from, obviously, piling kids in cars. So, and that's something we don't really like to do anyway. So in the past, we've had a couple parents that had some big 15-passenger vans, but they've graduated. So we've been using the shuttle service right now with a school bus. So it's working out.
Thank you. Thank you. Back to Coach Kevin. Who do you think are our top 3 competitors that you look forward to playing every year?
Oh, man. Coach Norm Hewitt, it was the Hillsborough, Bridgewater, Raritan, and Hillsborough coach for many years. Coach Gambino coached against him. I played against him. It's funny because we're playing teams in the Last Dance tournament, and he said, "Man, everybody just wants to kick your butt, don't they?" And I said, "Yeah." So our biggest competitors is honestly, it could be who we're playing that day, but in our conference, you got Hillsborough, Watchung Hills, Hunterdon Central, Somerville. I mean, I'd say those are like the biggest ones right now to date.
Thank you. Thank you. Coach Dominic and Coach Heibel. Question is about how competitive is the tryout process for soccer and cross country?
So for boys soccer, I don't really look at it as much as a tryout, but more of a pre-season. So we don't have a huge roster. So we have a varsity JV program. Everybody pretty much makes a team. What I will say is everybody from the start of pre-season is in together. So everybody gets my attention from the start. We will practice for a week. I review skills, fitness. And the one thing I will say is just because you're a freshman doesn't mean that you will be overlooked for a varsity roster spot or position. Prime example is Matthew Martin on the call right now. He was a freshman and started and played as a freshman. So don't really look at it like a tryout, more of a pre-season training, and it's run over the course of the first couple of weeks before the first games start.
And for track, As long as you're willing to come in and work hard, we'll take you on the team. I've seen a ton of times a kid comes in as a freshman and say using the mile, for example, they're running 6 or 7 minutes. After a year or two of hard work, I've seen that get down to, 4:30, 5 minutes. So as long as you come in and you're willing to work hard, we'll be happy to have you on the team.
And Coach Heibel, do we have a field coach that helps with throwing?
Yes. Last year, actually for the last 2 years, we've had Coach Platt, who's also an assistant football coach, and he's worked with our throwers. So you practice with him.
Thank you. Thank you. Coach Palin, question is, how long is the swimming season and where do we practice and swim?
Okay, we practice at the Bridgewater YMCA. The season usually runs from the first week of December to that first week of February. The last 2 weeks of January, it kind of tails off as the faster swimmers have opportunities to continue on in the conference and county meets and then to the meet of champions. So depending on your ability level, it can get you into late February. But for the majority of the swimmers, they're pretty much done that first week in February.
Okay, thank you. Coach Kevin Cust, is there a winter workout for the baseball team?
Yes, there's a winter workout. It's down at the same place where we play. It's at Diamond Nation. It's 3 days a week. It's about an hour and a half each day. And we do some defensive stuff over at Next Level Sports, which is right off River Road, very close to Diamond Nation as well. It's in Flemington.
Thank you. Coach Colombo, the question is, would you ever consider a throwing game if you have a good, strong-armed quarterback?
I absolutely would, yes.
Thank you. And another question is, how important is the GPA to be maintained to remain on a team? Coach Gambino?
Very important. I'm not going to give the pyramid speech right now because a couple of guys have heard it a lot, but it makes it a lot easier if your grades are up here on the top of the pyramid than they are down at the bottom for everything you want to do for the rest of your life, and especially going into college. So, like Coach Colombo said, we're proud of our high GPA, and we monitor our GPA. Coach McKeever has the kids print out their Power School. They look at it all the time. We're constantly looking at it. It's important, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring you in. You're going to sit down with the coach, and we're going to find out why things aren't going the way they are. And if you need to stay after school and get extra help, that becomes a priority, which then takes away from your team and your practice. So you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting your team. So it's up to you to maintain the grades, especially while you're in season, because it's important that you're at practice. While I'm talking about practice, off-season stuff. So if you're in 8th grade right now and you're enrolling in Immaculata, once you register and you start all the paperwork and you're coming to Immaculata, when your 8th grade is done and our school year is over, you can start using our facility. You can start coming to our workouts. You can start doing all our summer stuff. Okay. If the track team is running in the summer, if the football team's working out in the summer, if the basketball team, baseball, whatever we're doing, you guys can jump in and do that. But you have to be finished with your 8th grade year. You cannot come up and work out and practice as an 8th grader. You will lose a year eligibility if it ever got caught. So it's real important that you wait until you graduate. But we do want you, and we'd love you to get started with our guys as well.
Thank you. We don't have a tennis coach here to represent the sport, but we do have a question about whether we will have a team and how do you get on that team?
Well, we had a boys team for a couple of years. We haven't had one in 3 years because there really hasn't been interest in boys tennis, unfortunately. To be honest with you, it's still in the budget, and it could happen. And if we have a tennis player, again, that they can compete as an individual as well. But that would have to be someone with high level of tennis. You know, you can't enter the counties, the Skyline championships, and the state tournament unless you have some high skill level, especially coming in as a freshman.
Okay. And Coach Kevin, I have a question about how the baseball teams are structured. Do we have multiple levels? And could you talk a little bit more about the tryout?
Yeah, we've the last 2 years I've had a JV and varsity. So the teams are structured basically from the top down. So the best guys are going to make the varsity team and play at the varsity level. And then we'll work down from there. I've had freshmen play varsity baseball numerous times in the 7-8 years I've been here. You know, the best guys that can contribute in certain spots are going to play. So that's kind of how that works. The tryout process is much like soccer said, with, you know, it's more of like it's a preseason thing. So we have a Friday, Saturday skills day where we watch. Sunday we're off, and then the next week we're just getting into scrimmaging and game situation, scrimmaging inter squad with our own team, game situational stuff, and basically just going from there. And then I just kind of place guys accordingly. So everybody has an opportunity to get seen at the varsity level, and then it just trickles down from there.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Colombo, same question to you. Do we have multiple level teams?
Yeah. Because of the COVID this year, we're only playing 2 levels. We're playing JV. Well, it's really freshmen, a couple of JV kids sprinkled in. But had we been able to do that, we anticipate with the numbers we have on the lower level that we are going to bring in a good group of freshmen. You know, we've had 25 to 30 the last 2 years, and we've retained them. So we anticipate being able, starting next year, to play freshman, JV, as well as varsity. So that's where our numbers have been. We're right now at 64 kids in our program. When I came here 3 years ago, we were at 42, I believe, 44. Of those 64 kids we have, there's only 6 seniors. So you're only losing 6, and you're going to bring in another 20, 25. So our numbers are going to start reaching 80 to 90 within the next 2 years. So I think that's where we are, and that's the way we're headed right now. No question.
Thank you. Coach Minor, for golf, could you explain a little bit about how the tryout process is to be a member of the golf team, and how competitive is our schedule?
We're similar to the track team. Anybody who has an interest, has a set of golf clubs, we will take them onto the team. When we play in matches, only 6 players can play. So, you know, the players who are the strongest, 6 players will play in those matches, and the tournaments are usually 3 or 4 players. So, but everybody's on the team. We practice and play pretty much every day during the spring season. And what we found is over time, we can take players who are relative beginners, and by the time they are upperclassmen, they are, you know, key members of our team. So it's really a developmental process that we go through. And a lot of times it takes, you know, a couple of years. But given the circumstances that we're in, given the shutdown of last season's team, we really have a complete open slate of players. We had a few players that came out, but never got a chance to play. So, you know, the ability to get on the team and be able to play in matches is very good if you have any proficiency in the game. Our competitive level is very good. You know, our top competitors are like Somerville, Pingree, and those are really our key rivals, if you will. So, but it's very good. You know, when you get to the county tournament, you know, you will have many players shooting in the low 70s, you know, for a round of golf. But you don't need to be able to do that to just be able to play and get on the team.
Thank you. Coach Hywell, I think we have a jumper in the audience. They want to know if you have a coach for those who jump.
There's not a specific jumping coach. Last year, the jumpers, I worked with them, even though I have more of a run-in distance background. I was able to help them a little bit. And also last year, there was a girl who wanted to pole vault. So I have a few coaching connections, and I was able to send her, he owns the Vault Factory, to work with her a little bit. So a combination of me and then you can go outside for help a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we've covered all our questions, Tom.
All right. Sounds good, everybody. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate spending the time with us. I hope you got a good feel for some of these coaches that we have here and our athletes. Again, these are guys that I consider rock star student athletes, great athletes, great kids to be around all the time. So thank you all for taking the time. I know it's 9 o'clock. Many of you got to get to bed, get all your homework done, get going. Michelle Landino, finish up.
Yeah, again, thank you for joining us tonight. And as always, if you have any questions, whether it's about athletics or anything regarding Immaculata, don't hesitate to give me a call or shoot me an email. I'll be happy to answer it and do whatever I can to help you out. And hopefully we will be able to see you in person at some point soon. That is our sincere hope. So thanks again for coming and have a great night.
Hey, I just want to get a shout out to Michael Giangreco. Good job, Michael. I know a lot of guys jumped on you at the last second here, and I really appreciate you putting this together for us. I know your job's not easy, and it's appreciated. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
I'm glad to do it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye. See you soon.